Highest highlight is when I built up enough courage to join Bill's mentorship in Elite. That was literally the only money I had left in my bank account.
Holy
So if I,
crap, Riyad.
yeah, that was my highest moment.
For context, if anyone's wondering why I'm like freaking out right now, it's because you closed me into Bill's mentorship. Like not literally, like you don't work for him, just for so people who don't know, but like I was so afraid and you shifted my mindset. You reframed me around my fear. You didn't even know what objection handling fear was, but you did it and got me in to you got me to commit and take the step. And so I'm so surprised that for you it was even like your last dollar to invest. I had no idea.
Yep, I had to. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't be where I am today and having this conversation with you, right?
Yeah. Damn, Riyadh. Today we have Riad Bhimani on the show. He is one of my good friends here in the high ticket space and one of the few people I really admire and respect for his ability to connect with people on a deep level. Even when we're just talking, he's able to call me out on my limiting beliefs, to empathize and reframe my mindset, all while making it feel like a warm, fuzzy blanket. So, in my opinion, from the outside looking in, I think that's why he's been able to be so successful in the high ticket space so quickly. But Riyad's here himself. So let's hear from him. Let's learn from him. If you want to extract the juice, the sauce, if you will, so you can level up your skills in the empathy department, then stay tuned. Riyad, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. First podcast ever, so it's gonna be fun. See how it
Yeah.
goes.
Let's start here. Um, I'm curious, what would you say to people who really want to help others, right? But they struggle with empathizing and connecting with people, like on sales calls.
The problem's from within. If you can't connect with yourself first, how can you connect with someone else, right? Like you can't pour from an empty glass, can you? You have to pour from a full glass in order to pour into someone else's.
Mm,
And so if you want to be better at empathizing or even connecting with someone else at a deeper level, learn to connect with yourself, understand yourself first, and be truly who you are, which I'm still working on. Like I'm no perfect human being. I'm working on it every day. I'm still trying to embody my perfect self, we'll say, but that's what I would say is learn to connect to yourself first.
how? How the heck do you connect with yourself? Like,
It's like you got to ask yourself the deeper questions. You got to go deep. This surface level stuff that you can just talk about. Why did you have a traumatic past? Your mom or your dad. Okay. Why are you blaming them? What, like, look deeper than just the surface level stuff and really try to understand the why behind everything. Yes, it may be rhetorical to say that from a sales perspective, that you shouldn't really um that you're always asking the why, but you gotta ask the why first to yourself, right?
that's so true. It's like, I think people hear things like that and they're like, yeah, yeah, it's sales. You got to know the why, but it doesn't apply to me personally. It's like, yeah, it does, right?
It does. It
Because
starts with you.
exactly. Exactly. You're you're kind of making me think of a book, Start with Why by Simon Sinek. Did you read that?
Never ever fucking read
Okay,
it.
it's good. He focuses more on the sales side of things, but he does it with a few people as well, a few humans, like influential people, and like really digging down, like what is their why and what helped them to be so successful. I think we should do the same thing with ourselves, like you said, definitely.
It's everything that starts from within, right? You
Hmm.
can't expect to be that successful person if all your actions, your traits, and the way you're showing up is unsuccessful, right? You can't expect to come on a sales call and change someone's perspective and reframe if you haven't changed your own.
It's like, okay, let's say someone, they do the work, they ask themselves why? Why am I like this? And then they answer it, right? And then they're able to show up on sales calls and ask the tough questions, but there's still this fear of rejection. We all have it, right? It's like, how did you overcome your fear of rejection? Because in my eyes, you have like none. It's gone.
I'm still overcoming it today. It never goes away. No matter at whatever stage you're at, you're always gonna have that fear of rejection. But ultimately, it's like with any other fear. The only way to overcome something is by walking straight through it and knowing on the other side it's completely fine. You don't die when someone rejects you, do you? You don't end
No.
up in a worse place when someone rejects you, do you? When someone says no, like this, like we're on Zoom, you still have another call. You're still gonna go and eat food. You're still gonna wake up. You're still gonna sleep. Nothing changes. So the fear is ultimately not even of rejection, it's of the unknown. But the only way to know of the unknown is to walk through it, right?
Yeah, that's the only way. Yeah, sometimes I say that to prospects, like the only way, well, what I say is the only way to get past the fear is to walk right through it. But it's the same thing, right?
Yep.
Hmm. I wish there was like an easy like tactic, like do this and you will no longer deal with fear of rejection. Like I think that's what everyone was kind of hoping you would say when I asked the question, or maybe I'm just projecting and maybe that's what I was hoping you'd say.
There is no tactic to this game. Like
Yeah.
even when I learned from Bill, Nick, James, Christian Jack, when I learned from all of these people, it's not about the tactics. It's
Mhm.
who they have had to mold themselves to become into a specific individual so that they can show up as the best version of themselves. Because if they don't do that, then no tactic's gonna work. You can be the best objection handler, but if you still have your own fears, you will project those on sales calls and they will come straight through and every single prospect will see them.
Absolutely.
What's your fear, Princess? What are you scared
My
of?
my fear, like in general or
Yeah,
on
what's
sales calls
what's the
or
one thing that scares you to death?
I'm afraid of being mauled by wildlife, to be honest. Like like I'm afraid of like a bear or a lion or something killing me.
Why? Do you live where there's lions and bears?
No, I used to live in like in the mountains though, in the valley in California, and we didn't necessarily have mountain lions just lurking around, but sometimes people would see mountain lions like in their backyard. Because with the wildfires, they kind of came down into the residential areas. But regardless, that's not where the fear comes from. I've always had it. Um, I don't know. I know where it comes from actually. It comes from when I was a little kid. I went to the beach and a guy was bit by a shark and it was the shark took a chunk out of his side and I was like 7 years old and I saw him walking out and blood was pouring out and it was a whole thing. And so now I'm afraid. I think it's very likely that it would happen. It's like if you see someone get struck by lightning, you think it's way more likely to happen than it really is, because you saw it.
Yeah, but in hindsight, how likely is it based off where you're living now?
Yeah, I know it's not. But I feel like this doesn't really tie into rejection though, because rejection is very likely to happen.
That's normal. That's why I was asking, what's your other fear? Like, what's your real fear? Because that's not a real fear, though, is it? Because you
Yeah,
don't live in an area where you're gonna see a bear at the front door.
that's true. Real fear. Um,
I don't
I
think you
don't,
have any anymore.
I don't anymore. That's why I'm struggling to think of it. I don't have it anymore. That's why I'm able to help so many people now.
Why is that? What do you do?
What did I do? Way to flip the script, Riyadh. What did I do? I failed a lot. I got rejected a lot. And throughout the process, I ended up helping more people than I did before when I was too scared to ask tough questions. So now in my mind, it's like rewired my brain instead of being afraid of feeling bad, feeling uncomfortable. Now I'm afraid of not giving it my all and failing people.
How does it feel, being on the other side of the fear?
Liberating as hell.
How long did it
Yeah.
take you to get to that space? Because I know it wasn't an easy journey. I remember the journey, bits and
Yeah.
pieces of it.
It was not easy. Let's see. Shit, like 6 months until I really did not care anymore what people thought about me.
Wow.
6 months straight of just going, just doing it. Yeah.
That's the difference, right? Between the people that are still gonna keep being scared and the people that get on the other side and be exactly where they are is the action that they take. Like,
Yeah. And something also I wanted to say something more concrete, but I don't even know if this is more concrete or less concrete, but a big shift that happened was my self-worth increased. But that only happened as a result of seeing how many people I could help. Because I felt like, oh my
Yeah,
God, my existence is actually valuable. My worth on this
exactly.
planet is it means something because I'm able to help people. And that is like a cycle. And so something I wanted to ask you actually, because one thing, if I had to pinpoint one thing about you that sticks out to me as to why you're so successful, it would also be the fact that you have high self-worth. And so I'm curious, have you always been like that, or did something shift for you at some point?
Something shifted for me. Um, I don't remember when, what, or why, but it did shift because I was never like this. I used to be a very insecure little boy who could not even jump on a sales call and even challenge someone. I was scared to have sales call. Like literally, I would shiver on a sales call. I'd be shivering. Jump on a sales call and actually have a conversation with some random person. I was the biggest introvert you would find on this planet.
Wow.
Um, so when I got into sales the very first time, I was scared, but I had to make it. And if I didn't do what I needed to do, then I wouldn't made it and I wouldn't be where I am today. So yeah, something did shift. Don't know what. I know what helped was my partner. She helped a lot. In terms of that, she showed me a different side of me that I never really knew was there. So that helped a lot. But also getting recognition from people other than those that are close for me, knowing that have I am something that I have done something that, it's there, it's within me. I just have to
Wow.
pour into myself a little bit more to take it out.
That resonates a lot. It's really similar to like that shift that happened for me, right? Like feeling like, okay, I actually am worth something. And it's like, I think that's a good question to ask. People should ask themselves is like, right now, if you're struggling with sales, if you're struggling with challenging people, if you're struggling with connecting, ask yourself, do you feel like,
You're
God,
worth it.
do you feel like you're worth it? That's, I wanted to, yeah. Do you feel like you're worth it? Do you
Yeah.
feel like your existence matters? Or do you feel like if you just disappeared, boop, off the face of the earth, that it wouldn't matter? Because if you
Yeah.
do feel like it wouldn't matter, then that's probably what's deep down what's holding you back.
Yeah.
Because
Another thing is it's all vanity metrics, right? Like the perception of other people are all vanity metrics. You'll get so many people, you'll get people trying to please other people and then those people trying to please other people. But ultimately, if you don't please yourself and know yourself and connect with yourself, then it's all just a waste of time.
very true. I'm I'm curious, like in terms of your sales career, what has been what's been the biggest highlight and what's been your lowest moment?
My lowest moment is, I still remember it, was November. I think I was on the verge of some very stressful stuff. I had the best month, which was October, and then November came and I just had my absolute worst month ever. Probably made like $1,500 in commission. And I was like, what the fuck? I had huge, I would look myself in the mirror and I wouldn't really recognize the person I was seeing. And I was like, what is actually going on? And I didn't even want to be on this earth anymore at that point, looking back at it. That's how bad I kind of dug myself into a hole. But I knew that it's either I go down or I pick myself back up and I rise for the occasion. And that's where December came into place. What was the other
Uh,
question? I lost
the
track of the other
highest,
question.
yeah, the highest highlight of your career.
My highest highlight is when I built up enough courage to join Bill's mentorship in Elite. Because it was my last
Stop.
$1,500.
Wow.
That was my last, that was literally the only money I had left in my bank account.
Holy
So if I,
crap, Riyadh.
yeah, that was my highest moment.
For context, if anyone's wondering why I'm like freaking out right now, it's because you closed me into Bill's mentorship. Like not literally, like you don't work for him, just for so people who don't know, but like I was so afraid And you shifted my mindset. You reframed me around my fear. You didn't even know what objection handling fear was, but you did it and got me in to you got me to commit and take the step. And so I'm so surprised that for you it was even like your last dollar that you had to like muster up the strength to invest. I had no idea.
Yep, I had to. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't be where I am today and having this conversation with you, right?
Yeah. Damn, Riyadh. It's like you just unlocked like another level. Like,
That's the game. Like Bill
yeah,
says, it is the game. You
it
unlock
is.
levels every single day.
Yeah, and it probably goes to show that's why you're able to help people. Fear is like, I think your favorite objection to handle right now.
It is. It is. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, because you did it first. I always say that, like you got to do it
Yeah,
first. It's true.
exactly. Fuck the word
Wow.
tracks. Fuck everything else. Do it for yourself first.
Literally, if you just do things that scare you over and over, you don't even need a script. You probably don't even need a sales coach.
No, you don't.
Like, did I say something bad? Yeah.
Um, but you see, I think a lot of people need coaches. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people don't have it within them to fucking do the shit, to go through the
Yeah.
shit. They need that support.
Mhm.
That's why they get coaches and they spend money on coaches, and that's why coaches are there. And that's why some coaches are shit as fuck and some of the best of the best.
Yeah.
And I've been on both sides of the spectrum. And so I guess it's
Mhm.
that learning curve as well, right there.
Yes. And I mean, all that being said, I mean, I wouldn't be where I am either if not for my coach. So I'm not saying like no one's I think we need the push from we need another human to show us a positive example. We need someone to look up to be like, okay, they did this, I can do it too. And we just need someone to help us to raise the bar for ourselves. Yeah.
Now, ask you a personal question. Do you have someone you look up to in your family?
Honestly, no, not in my family.
That's why you have Bill. That's why you
That's
joined
why.
Bill's.
That is why. Yeah. Aside from you closing me, it was like I was hungry for someone to push me and increase like raise the bar in terms of my standards for my life. I didn't know that. I couldn't articulate that back when I started training with Bill. No, I couldn't. But now I see
Leadership.
like that's what I needed. Leadership, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. We all need a leader. So
Oh yeah,
that's why I want
100%.
to help. I want to help the masses, you know?
Like a podcast.
Yeah. Because sales, it's like it's more than just a career, you know? And for some of us, like me and you, it's the vehicle that transformed our life and our leadership skills and our self-worth. And like it's I guess what would you say for people who right now are just they're just in survival mode? So they don't get to have the juice, the extra juice, the leadership, the confidence, that stuff. People who are in survival mode who don't want to be in survival mode anymore, is there a gap there that you can kind of fill to help them reach that next level faster?
There's no gap because it's either you're in survival mode or you're not. Um, and if I was you and you're not making enough, then do something about it. And you're the reason why you're in survival mode. Like, just take responsibility. That's the first thing. Accept that you're the reason why you are there. Once you've done that, fucking stick it out in survival mode for 6 months if you have to. But get in the right corner with the right people before you do take that jump. Like the one mistake I say I would have made, I've made was I didn't have a 9 to 5. I never have ever. And so everything has literally just been hand to mouth for me. Meaning I had to find a way to make it work every single time. And so I've been in survival mode for at least, I was in survival mode for at least a year, a good year before I got out of it. But I got out of it quicker because I was in the right corner with the right people. So if you are in survival mode, get a 9 to 5, get some cash in the bank, use that cash, go and find someone that you resonate with that actually will help you, whether that's elite the objection box, or whether that's fucking anybody else, and then stick it out in survival mode. and then you'll come out on your own 6 months later. Because it's like with you, right, Princess? You had to stick it out in survival mode to then come out of it. So you have to just accept the reality of it.
Accept it. Yeah. Stop complaining. Just accept it. And then find the right people, right? So for people who are like, how do I find the right person who to put in my corner? How?
Look, open your fucking
Look, damn it.
eyes.
It's simple.
Open your fucking eyes.
I think I asked that question because what I do is when you're speaking, right? I'm trying to take in the information you're saying through the lens of the people who are in my DMs asking me these questions. So I think that's what they would ask is like, how do I find the right person? It's like,
It's I think it's like with relationships, either the right person comes to you or you go looking out for the right person. For me, it's always the right person's always come to me, meaning I don't think it was a coincidence that I met Bill 3.5 years ago when he sold me NEPQ 2.0. I don't think that was a coincidence because looking back at it, I wouldn't have known who he is now and have invested if I didn't know him back then, right? Um, so it's either people come and find you or you go and find those people. So just start looking and it will come at some point.
yeah. I think also it's just like if you don't have an actual person in your life the way we have, like Bill, consume content of people who really inspire you and do kind of give you that push. Like for me, the Hormozis and Layla Hormozi really inspires me, but it's like she's not someone that I have access to in real life, but consuming her stuff put me in the right mindset so that way when I did find people in real life who match that level, match that energy, I'm like, oh yeah, that's my person, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
I think the other thing is people are scared to go and ask for help. People are scared to let go of their ego to get the right help as well. Like, if you want help from Alex Emoji, you're in 2020 fucking four. Find a way, be fucking creative, and get in his DMs.
Hold on. Wait, if someone's in survival mode, they can't afford Alex Hormozy though.
You don't need to afford him.
Yeah.
Like, if you give enough value to the right people, they'll bring you on board and they'll pay you. Think of it that way. You think,
Okay.
I'll give you a good example. Ty Lopez, or yeah, Ty Lopez is someone I've followed for years and years and years. He's one of his mentors, Joe Salatin. Joe Salatin has a farm. But his first mentor was Ty Lopez's first mentor was Joe Salatin. Joe Salatin built a 7, 8 figure empire. When he first got in contact with Joe, he worked for him for free. He did whatever he could to get into that corner, to get into that space. So do whatever the fuck you need to do to get into that space. Like for
Okay.
me, now it's leverage, right? If I don't want to pay for coaching, I need to find the right people that I want to work with. And so you got to be strategic with it. You got to find the right people, give them enough value for them to bring you into your corner. Once you've brought them in, you're in their corner, a lot of doors open, the floodgates, literally the floodgates. But you have to find your way in first. If you don't have the cash, then you're fucking human. Be of some value. Tell them I'll clean your toilets.
I'll clean your
Like,
toilets. Stop. That's triggering for me. You know, I used to clean toilets, right?
oh
While I
shit.
was while I was in nursing school, I was working, I had a medical assistant job as well, and I was cleaning toilets. I was grinding my ass off to survive.
Wow.
I was
Fucking
literally a
hell.
housekeeper for like the rich people in Beverly Hills. I was cleaning toilets, picking up cat poop. Oh God.
But let me ask you
Triggered
this,
me
your
with that,
experience.
Riyadh.
But your experience with them, right? Did it not open your mind to knowing that there is more money out there in this world?
Yes, that is, I think that's why when I decided I wanted to become an entrepreneur, I was a PIF close on my first sales call I ever was on, 10K PIF because I gave all my savings. I was like, take it because I want to do this so badly. There was like no failure was not an option because every single day I was in people's houses who made it happen for themselves. And so
There
it's like
you
if they could all
go.
do it, I could do it too. It gave me so much inspiration. Yeah.
There you go. But if you didn't go and do that, then you wouldn't be where you are today.
Yeah.
So just do what you
100%.
have to do to get to where you want to go. The answer's there. It's within.
Yeah, it's like it's all so simple, isn't it, Riyadh? It's so
Everybody says it's
simple.
simple. It's easier. I like to say it's easier said than done because you
Yeah,
have to get out of your own way a fucking lot to do that.
exactly. And that's essentially what we help people do all day, every day is get out of their way. And it's just like that's my message. I feel like the core of my message is get out of your way, fall on your face, and then eventually you will be where you want to be. I promise you.
Exactly.
Promise. I'd like to jump into my rapid fire questions. I've got some juicy ones for you, Riyadh.
Sure. Not like
Okay.
the other ones. Okay, so I was preparing for the ones that you've already done with the rest of the other podcast guys, but I guess I'll get new
Oh, no,
ones.
no. Oh, no,
Okay.
no. New ones for you, Riyadh. Okay. Answer with the first thing that comes to mind. Number one, what is your toxic trait?
Control. I love
Control?
control. Yeah, I love fucking control. And I love power. Actually, yeah, there's two. I have two toxic traits.
Mwahaha. That was an evil laugh, Riyadh. Oh my
Power and
gosh.
control. Yeah.
Are we talking world domination? Why does this keep coming up on my podcast episodes?
At
Like,
some point, maybe. I
wow.
do like, okay, I'll say this. I want to be a billionaire one day. I know I will be, but I know I want to be a billionaire. With being a billionaire, you get power, you get control.
Okay.
I don't know if it's toxic though, but yeah, some
It can
people,
be. It's like I
yeah,
think toxic traits all have the spectrum where it's like it definitely can be toxic, but it also doesn't, on the other side of the spectrum, it's not.
yeah.
So, number two, if the purge happened in real life and you could rob anyone in the world, who would it be and what would you take?
Bill Gates, um, and I would take his farmland.
His farmland?
Yeah, Bill Gates and
Why?
his farmland because you can make so much money with land. It's crazy with farmland specifically.
Does he have a lot? I'm guessing he has a lot of
Yeah,
it.
it's got like loads and loads of acres farmland. That's a weird answer, but yeah.
What would you do with it though?
Um, grow the right crops, organic crops, grass-fed meat, raw milk,
That's
all of the
super
good
wholesome.
stuff, and then give it away to the poor and then sell it to the rich.
That's really wholesome, actually. Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
I support this, Riyadh. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Um, describe your USP in 2 to 3 words.
My unique selling point. I don't know how to sell myself. I don't know how to answer that question. Um, 2 to 3 points. Charismatic, empathetic, um, and understanding, I guess.
Okay, cool. What are your top 2 book recommendations for people who want to get better at sales?
The subtle art of not giving a fuck is number one. Like that is at the top of the list. If anyone wants to go and read that, go and read that. If I would find it here, but it's not with me, it's with my brother. The second one I would suggest, this is not sales related, but gives you an understanding, is Your Next Five Moves by Patrick Bet David. So it kind of allows you to map out who you are, what you want to do, and then map out your moves on and how you want to play the chessboard. So it gets you thinking like a chess grandmaster, essentially.
I like that. I didn't read that one. I'm definitely reading that one next. Okay. When I finish my David Goggins one. Last but not least, what's your biggest fear?
Then I'll never ever be enough
For who?
for myself. That I won't achieve enough for myself. That's my biggest fear.
Oh,
Because I want to achieve everything in this world, and I know I will, but at the same time, I'm scared that I won't, and that's why I work. as much as I do work, and that's why I show up as much as I show up, and that's why I do so much for myself and put so much pressure on myself.
I'll revisit this question to you when you're a billionaire then. I'll ask you, do you feel
Fair
like
enough.
you're enough? Yeah. You'll probably say no, but that's the
Probably say
game.
no.
Yeah.
That's the game. Exactly.
Every week, I propose a challenge. Well, my guest proposes a challenge for the audience. So something to move them closer to achieving their goals, to being the person they want to be. So, as the guest of honor, can you please propose a challenge of the week?
Be more present. That's a challenge I given myself for the next couple of years, just to learn to be more present. So that's one part of it. The other part of it would be three, look at yourself now. Look at the traits that you feel like unsuccessful people would do and stop doing those and change those unsuccessful traits with what you think a successful person would do. Do the complete opposite. So for example, if you're stressed, be more relaxed. If you're anxious, be more calm. Um, so yeah, that's the challenge.
Solid. I love it. Thank you so much, Riyadh. I appreciate
Appreciate
you.
you.
Where can people find you if they want to pick your brain or whatever?
I don't like people picking my brain, but Facebook, Instagram, it's all over there. I'm sure you guys know me by
Okay,
now.
I'll put it in the description as well. Thank you so much.
Brilliant.
And that being said, that's all I've got for you today. Subscribe to the podcast on whichever platform you're listening on so you don't miss my next episode. Thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to hold yourself to a higher degree so you can be the most effective leader you can be. Till next time. Bye, guys.